The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections. Therefore, today, I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry.
This is a huge escalation from a speaker that has been very, very, very reluctant to formally dive into impeachment. She has, in some ways, had very little choice, as more than 40 and maybe more congressional Democrats have come out in support of impeachment proceedings just since yesterday morning. And that includes members like Abigail Spanberger and Alyssa Slotkin and Antonio Delgado, absolute frontline members who flipped Republican districts that Trump won, some of the most vulnerable Democrats, the ones that Pelosi was worried about protecting in an impeachment inquiry. Meanwhile, the big issue that Pelosi alluded to is that the Trump administration, in coordination with the Department of Justice and Attorney General William Barr, have been blocking a whistleblower from going to Congress as is legally required. Today, House Intelligence Committee Chair Adam Schiff shared the huge news that he and his staff has been in contact with the Whistleblowers Council, and the whistleblower would like to speak directly to their committee as soon as this week.
NBC News is now reporting that the White House does intend to give Congress the whistleblower complaint, at least a version of the whistleblower's complaint, by Thursday. The complaint will reportedly go through a classification review, and then Congress will get it. But, I mean, bottom line here, we haven't known about this whistleblower's existence or about this complaint for very long. The complaint was reportedly filed on August 12th. It's a member of the intelligence community who was reportedly disturbed by something that he or she observed when it came to President Trump and his contact with foreign leaders. That whistleblower conveyed that information by the process that he or she was supposed to under law in a way that should protect him or her from retaliation, up to and including losing his or her job or being prosecuted. The White House then apparently intervened to stop that complaint from being conveyed to Congress. That has led to these two twin stories: the stymieing of the congressional oversight process, including what is supposed to be a sacrosanct legal whistleblower protection regime, and whatever it is that so upset that whistleblower in the first place. If the whistleblower's complaint is conveyed to Congress because of this announcement from Nancy Pelosi today, both of those matters will make serious progress, both in terms of the obstruction and in terms of the content here.
This is the pattern we see over and over. You ask for documents you should get, they refuse. You subpoena, you get something. You talk about bringing contempt, you get a little more. Now I think the big club has been brought out, and I think it's forcing them to agree to provide the transcript and provide the whistleblower, and that big club is the club of impeachment. I think, but for that being brought out, the White House would not be relinquishing this information.
Congress might not actually need to do an investigation here. I mean, they might not really need to figure out much more about whatever's gone wrong here, simply because the admitted facts, the facts that are not in dispute anymore, are the basis for what you'd impeach him on, right? I mean, it's sort of an indisputed and admitted fact now that President Trump asked a foreign country to help him in his reelection bid by giving him dirt on Joe Biden. And the president personally intervened to withhold military aid from that country at the same time that he was making that request about Biden. In so doing, the president, according to the laws of common sense, created the impression in that foreign country that they wouldn't get that life-saving military aid from our country unless they coughed up the help that Trump wanted for his campaign. When do you expect the Judiciary Committee might be considering potential articles of impeachment?
I don't have that information, but I do expect that the Judiciary Committee is prepared to move very quickly.
At some point, you have to exercise your constitutional authority and utilize the checks and balances system to say, look, this is a country that has the rule of law, and that you can't have your president colluding with foreign powers and putting pressure on them in return for aid against political rivals. At some point, you have to do the right thing, even if the political calculation isn't necessarily in your favor.
There are many members of this administration, starting with the president, who believes that he is above the law, and no one in our system of democracy and in our system of justice is above the law, including the president of the United States. And there must be accountability and consequence for behaviors that are clearly against the law.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.